Hello all. I want you to look at figure 3-24 of your book. It is on page 3-17 of your access, and at the very top of the page it says to change a number field size in design view. As you see in figure 3-24, veterinary vendors table is in the design view. I am going to go there, and here is veterinary design. This is in datasheet view. I click on the arrow and I go to the design view. And when I look at the quantity here, as you know, we order 10 of something, some 10 of the products of this vendors, and it is saying that it is a number. When I click here, it says long integer. We know that we are not going to order 1 billion of these. How nice it is if we can tell this access that what we are ordering is just not a long, huge number, long integer. I click here, there is an arrow here, and I choose single. By doing so, I am limiting the space in computer and telling that that's what you see in figure 3-25, and you see that in figure 3-26. Now, let's look at figure 3-27. In figure 3-27, we are trying to do something to this quantity that we see again in here. We are trying to say the decimal places here where it says Odo. Let's say we want only 2 decimal places, for example. We come here and click on 2, and then we click this one. It's called the dialog box. If I click on it, it gives me 2 options here: update decimal places everywhere quantity is used. I choose that option, and that's what you see in figure 3-28, and I click OK, and then in figure 3-30, imagine that here I have something product type. I already typed it, but I am going to create another one, call it product type. I am going to click on this row to select it, and I am going to right click, and I click insert row, and a row is being selected here. And imagine that we have, I am going to type product type. Imagine that we want to see what kind of product we are buying from this company. I already typed it once, but that's okay. I want you to, when I come here, what kind of products are we buying from these? Of course, these are, suppliers to, this organization. Imagine that we buy computers, for example. I can come here, and by clicking here, I can imagine we sell computers. And imagine that we buy 3 types of computers. IBM, imagine HP, Dell, or let's say Apple, for example, Mac. Therefore, I can create a lookup wizard by clicking here. I am going to type what kind of computers these companies sell us. I click next. One of the computers they sell us is Dell. Another one that we can buy from them is HP. And another one is Mac. And I click next. And do you see, I'm not going to click here multiple value, but I am going to, let me click here. I leave it for now the way it is. And I click finish. And I want you to see is something called product type is being created. I go to my view and datasheet view, and I click yes. And I click yes, and I click OK. And let's say I go to view and data view. You must save the table. You want to save the table, yes. And I click yes. And let me click this relationship in here. Maybe that prevents us from going back. And I go to view and data view. You must save table. Do you want to save table? Yes. And I click yes. And you have already said okay. And let me close this, and then I will come back to this one again to show you what effects. Okay, product type. Okay, and let's one more time. Do you want to save changes to the design? I click yes. Change or deleting may cause error. Do you want to continue? Yes. You have already have a field named product type. Okay, therefore I'm going to get rid of this. That's where the problem is coming from. Delete rows and I click yes. And now if I close it, which is and I click yes, and I click yes, okay, and here we go back again, and here is veterinary, and then if I look at here, it is asking me product type, and if I click here, you see that drop down menu that allows you to select what kind of files we were looking at. And imagine if we buy cell del, and from here we buy again another del, and here we buy HP, and here we buy Mac, and here we buy HP, for example. Therefore, that allows us to drop. You have seen this drop down menu when you order your textbooks. It asks you, you go to the booksellers, our booksellers, and it asks you, could you tell us, which semester? You click fall. You choose which one of these items, a CIS book or MTH or math, or you select from that drop down menu. They create it like this. And that's what you see in figure 3-31, and we went through figure 3-32, 3-33, 3-34. I use computers, different computers, but figure 3-34 is using its product as VAC, MCSLIP, but you understand the concept. And we look at add multi-valued field. And as you see here, I can sell Dell here, Dell. Now, how about if I buy this company, which is Duncan Veterinary Supplies, not only sells Dell computer, it also sells HP. We buy HP from them. I cannot put two computers here. Only it allows me to put Dell. Therefore, let me see if I go to my design view. And if I go to my, let me get rid of this product type here, and I click delete rows, and I click yes, and product type disappeared. Now I am going to, after here you go, I'm going to click here and insert rows, this time product type. And then I come here, and again I create a wizard here. And I click, I want to type things by myself, and I click OK. My first item is, for example, Dell. My second item is HP, and my third item is Mac. Now, when I click next here, and I say allow multiple values, means allow me to type Dell and maybe HP for the same organization, and I click finish. And I want you to look at, see what happens now. I click this datasheet view, I click yes. And when I come here, it says product type. I like to look at here, a check mark is created here. I say this company sells HP and Dell. Look at here, I can now put multiple computers if each one of them sells different computers. That was what you saw in to add multi-valued field, and that is on page 3-23. Of course, I added it for type of computers. The book is trying to click open on figure on page 3-2033. It says open appointments table, which is here, appointments table. And on here, we have treatment number here, treatment 1, 2, 3, 4. How about if we have 11 treatments, as you see in page AC 3-22 at the bottom, it is 14 different treatments. And can we have treatment T3 or T4 and T5 here? Yeah, we have to go back here and click our design view. And do you see treatment number? We have to make our treatment number as a wizard. And if we use, I type my treatment number, I click next, and then I can say T1, And then here means treatment 2, and then treatment 3, for example, treatment 4, and I click next, and I say allow me multiple, and then I click finish, and I click yes, and then after I go to my view, date view, and I click yes, and I come here, for example, if I have another treatment, it is asking me, suppose someone has 3 kinds of treatment, I can select from here. That's what figure, page 3-23. And adding a calculated field. And we want you to look at figure 3-36. In 3-36, it wants us to open vendors. That's the vendors. How can I put the total of these numbers at the bottom of it? Therefore, in order to calculate the total of these at the bottom, and how do I do that? I know that I have totals here. Let me click on totals. Look at here, the total appeared here. And then that is auto sum, as you know. Now I come here, click here. It allows me to calculate the sum of all of this, or average. Just you have seen that somehow in Excel. And these are the totals are easily Access allows us to do the totals. And even Access allows us to do other features. And if you look at the figure 3-38, we are trying to do another way of adding some calculations, and we will discuss it in our next lecture.